show. This is Rufus Opus. I have a class coming up today at 4 o'clock Pacific time. That's in about 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours, something like that. And I am a little bit nervous. And so I thought that I'd put together something to distract myself. And hopefully it'll be interesting. Earlier this week, I got a question from somebody on my Instagram, I believe it was, but I got a message from somebody that they said they had a question about banishing, and since I'm doing a class later today about conjuration and whatnot, they said, do I need to banish after I've done my ritual? So they're talking about doing a 7 spheres ritual. And their question was, after they've finished the ritual, do they need to do a banishing to get rid of the spirits? And their opinion was they do not actually do any banishing. They open and close the planetary gates when they dismiss. Close the ritual verbally. In your experience, is it necessary to perform the LBRP again? So, let's see here. Where was I? I think I'm right about. Yes. So, those who know me, the question is, do I think it's necessary to do the LBRP again? No, is the short answer. I'll be touching on this in the class, but, for me, the short answer is obviously going to be no, and that is based on my personal cosmology. Your cosmology might be different, but based on whatever you believe, you're going to perform. Your rituals are going to be informed by how you think the universe works. I spend a lot of today's class going over what I think about that. But basically, most of these different cosmologies that are out and about teach us that there are spirits all around us, right? And they are all kinds of spirits. They could be good spirits or evil spirits. They could be spirits that are there to help us or spirits that are there to harm us. They could be spirits from the underworld that can be sent to help out to get us stuff from this material world. And these are supposed to be cycling through all the different types of spirits, and this seems like they're hovering on Cthulhu and demons. But so it has to do with what you see in this spiritual world. Like your cosmology says that there's all these spirits around you all the time. I personally believe that the essence of every planet and every element, every force and quality that goes into the manifestation of everything here in the material world is present in this room with us right now. So like wherever you're at and you're watching this or listening to this, the spirits are with us. The essences that the spirits represent are present with us. And then when we perform a ritual of conjuration, we symbolize that essence and we draw it near to us and we get it. By the way, if anybody has signed up for the classes, yes, you're going to be getting it soon. I am not going to do it right this second, but I will be sending these all out. I'm sending them out manually. Right before the class, I'll send out another batch, and it'll be available. Anyway, these spirits, they're like all around you, right, and everything. So like when you do this conjuration, you draw the essences of these planets or these forces, the qualities, into your sphere, and by name and by seal, you're actually determining what type of flavor of that force you're going to be dealing with, and what quantity and what quality and what force and what power and potential you're going to be able to get out of that, and so like if we're calling on things as gods, or if we're calling on things as demons, or whatever it is, we're going to call on these forces in ways that are going to manifest to us what we expect and what we experience from these spirits is going to be informed by our expectations quite a bit. I'm not saying this 100% is true for everything, but if you look at things like Enochian magic, it's a very plastic system that reflects the beliefs of the conjurer very much. So anyway, these spirits are all around us, and the theory of a banishing ritual is that no matter what your cosmology is, the banishing ritual is there because what's going to happen is you're going to create a laboratory environment in which you get rid of all of these other spirits that are around you right now. And it's just going to be you and this completely clean environment in which you can plug in all of your personal spirits that you call up in exchange for all of these these hoi polloi, this chaotic maelstrom of energies that are in the room with you. It gets rid of all that stuff, and it's just you and just those spirits. And it does this so that, it's just you in this clean environment with no spirits, so that you can call on whoever you want. So it does this. Here's the LBRP. This is from Liber O, from Crowley's Liber O. It does this by going through and you touch your forehead and you say Ata and Malkuth and Gabor, etc., etc. You say the magic words, you trace out the magic pentagram, and you vibrate the sounds of the god name so that it charges the atmosphere with this holy energy that is so pure and holy that all of the negative spirits must be gone except for the energies that you're calling on, and all of the forces are going to be gone except for the things that you want. And then you call on these other four spirits, Raphael, Gabriel, Michael, and Uriel, and there's four spirits there now with you in your laboratory environment, and everything that was supposed to be just clean and pure is, strangely enough, back full of spirits again, and your backdrop is not nearly as pure as what you want. Now, if you think about those four spirits, they might sound familiar to you. They are the classic four elemental spirits. This goes back to your, let's see here, your cosmology, right? This is your map of your universe. Your cosmology is going to put different elemental kings at the four corners of the world. The LBRP uses the four archangels. If you're a Trithemius method fan, you've got the four archangels on the graphic that actually shows up with the manual. The Gabriel, Uriel, Michael, and the other one, Raphael. And those four archangels represent the four elements on the earth. We've got Orions, Payman, Amaymon, and Edgin, my favorite. Anyway, yes, those four elemental kings can also be substituted. They are the Adonais. If you look at the magical circle here, we'll go into that in the class quite a bit more. But the Adonais are the four lords of the elemental world. They are the four elemental kings that are represented here in your magical circle of your cosmology when you're doing a conjuration, right? So when you're doing this banishing ritual and you're conjuring these spirits that charge your atmosphere, that make it so holy, what you're really doing is you're reflecting this magical spirit from the Megaton that shows the four lords of the four quarters of Earth manifesting all over the world around you, right? So that's what the magical effect of the LBRP is basically creating in your imagination and in your actions, the traced out version and the spoken version of this magical circle. You're creating it in your astral realm, and you're creating it in your magical temple space, and you're mystically imagining this beautiful thing all going on around you that takes the place of actually putting the physical circle in place. Now, you're building this up in the astral realm, but you could also have it, if you're in the kind of magic that I do, you could also have it in your table of practice. You've got your 7 planetary spirits here, your 4 planetary or your 4 elemental kings, a triangle of manifestation. You've got everything you need there to actually do a conjuration, including the banishing effects of having the 4 elemental kings there. So arguably, one of the reasons I don't banish is because the kings of the elements are already part of the circle, keeping it safe and secure. The laboratory environment has already been created in my table of manifestation, if there is such a thing, and that condensation point at the center of that manifestation point where the spirits are going to be drawn to appear in the crystal is already in a place where it's surrounded by the 4 elemental kings and the 7 archangels of the planets, so that it can be effective in communicating my desires out to the manifest world. If you believe that you're actually conjuring spirits to manifest things the way I think you do. Anyway, so that's one reason I don't banish those kinds of things. And if when you go through the class with me, you will see that there is a part of the here we go. Maybe, let's see, let me get rid of the there. Okay, so yeah, you'll see this part of the script actually does now acknowledge the 4 elemental kings. At least in passing, the supernatural assistant is asked to prepare a feast for the spirits that come, including the 4 elemental kings. So that actually has made its way into a more prominent part of my practices since the previous versions of the script that have been out and about in the universe at large. So getting back to that whole banishing thing, arguably it's there in the table of practice, so you don't have to worry about it. But the other thing about banishing is you're supposed to do it at the very beginning. The guy said, do you do it again at the end, indicating he'd already done it at the beginning. And no, I don't do it at the beginning. I don't do it at the end. I don't do it. So the actual opening of the rite itself, a lot of people open the rites with apo, pantos, kako, dominos, right? Or some form of, I consecrate this ground for my defense. I mean, there's a point in my rituals where I include that too, mostly for the peace of mind of the magicians. But the actual consecration of the space for when I do my rituals these days is based on something completely different, and it's actually taken place. It takes place during the opening of the ritual. There's this big invocation of Zeus, and it's not just that, it's this declaration of the formulation of the universe. It goes back to my cosmology. I am establishing my understanding of the universe at the outset of my ritual, as I'm speaking to the rest of the universe what it is that's going on here. I'm saying, look, I understand who you are, universe. I know how this all works, and I know what my place in this is. I open up by stating, Zeus the head, Zeus the middle, Zeus the all in all. Okay? This is a representative formula of my expression of existence, my understanding of the expression of existence. Everything begins from a single source. This demiurge that we call Zeus is one way to look at it. That source begins at the beginning of a lightning bolt, a single form, a root of all, right? Zeus the middle is the next aspect of it, the manifestation of Zeus as all the gods. If you go through the Dervani manuscript, after Zeus swallows the thing that makes him the demiurge, that makes him reform the universe in his own image, he becomes the universe, and he expresses the gods that we have in our creation mythos and Hesiod's creation mythos, right? He expresses the universe's creation in all of the creation mythoses that we have. He expresses that. That's the middle. All the gods that we call on in our rituals, all the archangels, all the spirits, all the invisible friends that coalesce the forces of creation to make our experienced reality are the middle. Zeus the middle, right? Zeus the head is the source. Zeus the middle is all the entities, manifest and unmanifest, that participate consciously in creation and experience, right? And then there's Zeus all in all, right? Zeus to Ponto Krator, Zeus the all in all. This is everything else. The very edges of the lightning bolt, the fractal image, scintillating pinpoints that make up the material world, the backdrop of everything, our own nervous systems, our bodies, our flesh, our psyche, our consciousness spreading up and down our spinal column. You know, there's a reason the spinal column looks like a lightning bolt. There's a reason that fractals are expressive of that essence of power, of creation, of everything that is Zeus. You know, there's a reason that Zeus shares the same root word as the gods, right? My God's name is God. That's how my God is, right? So anyway, my whole opening to my ritual is simply a statement of this manifest existence and my recognition of it. Okay, so as soon as I'm opening up this conversation with everything that exists, I'm saying, look, I know who you are, and I know what my place in this is. I know how this works. I have the seals, I have the symbols. Everything in this place exists so that I can do this magic that's about to happen. That's why when I say what I'm about to say, reality itself will bend to conform with my expression of my will. Because, not because I'm special, but because that's just how it works. Right? And that's why my magic is effective, is because I understand that expression of reality. And I established that at the beginning. So why would I want to banish all of our amazing spiritual friends? Why would I want to open with a banishing rite? Why would I want to get rid of our Cacodominos? Everybody around me, as soon as I say so, is front and center, ready to behave and support me in what I'm here to do. Why wouldn't they be? Everything is here to express the one thing, right? The miracle of creation. So anyway, I hope everybody is ready for today's class. It is happening at 4 o'clock. The class is still available. You can purchase it probably up until about, basically, like, I'll probably send out the last of the emails around 3:30 or 3:45. If you come in like after that, I'm really sorry, but you'll just have to deal with the watching the video later. Probably, I'm not gonna sweat it. You can cry in my DMs. I will feel sorry for you and send you a link to the recording anyway, because that's all you're going to get. Anyway, I will see you all later soon, sooner or later. Looking forward to it. Have a great afternoon, and I will talk to you soon.